Well, good afternoon, morning, whatever it is. Everyone out there in YouTube land, all over the world. Hope everyone's having a good day. Um, Here's a 390 that unfortunately the fella had a dealer put a brand new top end on it, and because the other one was burnt up, then he sent it to me to walkerize. But I phoned him and asked him, well, why is there a new top end on it? He says, well, he got used to lots Alaska milling, then he bought it and ran it for a bit, and then it blew up on him, I guess. I never seen the old top end, but I would have kind of figured out maybe something else was wrong with it. And it being an older saw, and doesn't look like they went through anything on it when they put the top end on it, so I started cleaning it up, and I took it apart after I cleaned it up, and the whole piston was really gritty with this black goo. Even in the crankcase here was filled with this black kind of gritty goo, and I pretty much know normally what that's from. It's usually a bottom bearing, a side bearing, right? So I pulled the top end off, of course, and then I was feeling the bottom end. It felt really gritty. Look at this black grit crap in here. So I took it apart. The ignition side bearing isn't so bad. It's got a bit of some rough spots in it, but the clutch side one, some of the hard surfacing of the race inside here is coming off and has galled up these bearings. So that's where the grit is coming from. It didn't have any crank end play, which they might have checked out when he got the top end done, but being though it comes all this way from wherever he's at in the U.S., eastern U.S., I believe, that I had to take it apart. I couldn't help myself, so took it apart. And sure enough, bad bearing. Good thing he didn't keep running that top end. It would have probably lasted a little bit, but it would eventually gone as well. Not too much time on it at all, right? So there you go, buddy. I'm gonna put some new bearings in it and seals. And then we know from the bottom ends up. The crankshaft appears to be good. All the needles are in there. It's not blue. It's not purple. Yeah, no heavy play to it. If you ever want to check connecting rods, sometimes if you put the rod right in the center, get it in the center and go sideways to sideways. If the rod doesn't touch the lobes at the bottom of the crank, it's probably still pretty good. If it touches both sides, it's got a lot of wear to it, and it's eventually going to blow up after a while. Husky cranks are really tough, though. They really never had many problems with them. Except for some of the 390s. Yeah, 390s, I had some that were breaking. Rods were breaking. There was just a manufacturer's default, though. Nothing to do with high revving or modifying or anything, because we done, thousands of 385s, thousands of 390s before they came out with that new rod version, and then they started breaking. So I know it was a metal problem. Also on the 390, you got to watch when you're, putting the flywheel side bearing in. It's no problem. It goes in and it only goes so far and it stops, right? So you heat up your case, drop your bearing, and away you go. The clutch side one, I put it right even with the surface of the inner surface where the bearing is. Heat it up, get it in there just right. Then I have to use a puller and pull the crankshaft this side together. I'll put the crank in the flywheel side first, and then I'll put the bearing on here. Then I'll use a puller here that threads onto the clutch threads. Then I suck it together. That's really about the best way to do it, and really the only way to do it. And maybe I'll show you that when I get the new bearings and seals. It doesn't take that long. You just got to have the right stuff to do it. I don't have that puller here right now. I'll grab it and bring it here from Walker's and show you that, or just get myself another one so I don't have to go back and forth. Yeah, so I just wanted to show you that if you do have a dealership that you're going to get a new top end put on, make sure they check the bottom end thoroughly. Even pressure vac test it, because you go spend, I don't know how much in US, but in Canada this top end's worth about $450 now, maybe. Some still new top ends now are in the $500 range, Canadian prices that is. So just be careful of that. Also checking the carburetor out. The carburetor was plugged on one side, it never got checked either. So you got to check these things out when you're when you're doing rebuilds. You know, some dealerships, maybe they don't have the best mechanics around, but they should know the basics. You know, especially on a pro saw like this, it's worth, you know, brand new, it was worth $1,200-1,300 Canadian. You know, you want to take care of it, right, and do it right. You don't want it failing out there for the customer. So anyways, I'll have to get some parts now so I can continue on this. I'll just get on to the next saw now because I don't have that stuff here. So it's Tuesday. We had a heck of a storm here last night, windy and rainy and a bit snowy. The power was out for quite a while, so me and Shelly got some candles out and played a little crib. We weren't very good at it because we don't know how to play it very good. I used to play when I was a kid, but now I got to kind of relearn it again. But that was fun. So we did that. Power came back on and we were all happy. Watched some TV and crashed out. Got a buddy of mine, Chad, coming up from Nanaimo today, gonna have a visit with, and I haven't seen him for a while. He's an old faller friend of mine. Well, he's not that old. He's younger than me. He's a young faller friend of mine, that's right. But he hasn't been falling much lately. So, anyways, just wanted to show you that. Be careful with stuff like that, buying used or getting work done at some shops. Just make sure they're thorough. Ask them those type of questions. Okay, make sure they do it. So, anyways, have a great day. Keep us on it, sticking nice, rubbing around. Be kind, everyone. Just have a happy day. Bye-bye.